Hello, thank you, and welcome back. Thank you for your likes, your comments on my last video. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Today, I'm going to talk a bit about, one of the comments that I received, which caught my attention, and then I said, okay, we need to talk some more about this topic. Obviously, you know, one thing that I'm going to say is that the purpose of my video is not to condemn our parents. The purpose of my video is not to focus on, the circumstances that surrounded our parents. The purpose of my video is not to say, okay, I am, putting blame or apportioning blame, to our parents and dissecting what they should have done. This is what they should have done. These are the mistakes that they made. No, no. But I'm very sure that in our individual homes, as we grew up, we actually were able to say, we're able to see that our parents, some of them did make financial mistakes. We're also able to see that some of them had limited knowledge. We're also able to see that some of them had limited opportunities. So yes, but you see, what all of that, should do to us is to help us to see how we would not have limited knowledge. We would do better financially. We would do better with the little that we have. We would put into consideration the fact that we do not want to put the financial burden of taking care of us on our children. Do you understand me? So irrespective of, whatever it was that our parents did or what they didn't do, that, has ensured that now we are the ones, having taking full responsibility of our parents. That's not the context. The context here is, for me, for example, I have learned some lessons. I have learned lessons about being financially responsible. I have learned that I do not want to burden my child. I have learned that my child is going to have a life of her own, that I would want her to live fully without bothering or worrying about me or about her dad, right? I have also learned that I need to ensure that I am doing financially okay, right? I need to do everything in my power to ensure that I'm able to support myself now, support my kids now, support myself in the future, and also support my child in the future. I mean, the least that we can do is to be able to support ourselves in the future and not lean on them, right? Let's even take away the part of, going the extra mile of paying their mortgage or whatnot. No, let's take that away. Let's talk about how you as a person want to retire and still not be a burden to your child. So, and that's why I'm saying this. And I'm believing that my audience, they're not 60-year-olds, right? So you're not in your retirement age yet, right? So that means that I am talking to people who are probably in their 20s, in their 30s, in their 40s, right? And that means that, you still have some time ahead of you to ensure that this doesn't happen to you, that this doesn't happen to your child, right? And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how I understand that it's very possible that, the opportunities that are in the Western world are not the same with what is available in Africa, especially in Nigeria, with the inflation and the crazy thing going on. And of course, you must believe me when I say inflation is currently all over the world. Everyone is feeling it. Everyone. You might say, oh, you people are not feeling it as much as we are. Trust me, every single person is feeling it. House rent increased. Light bills increased, water bills increased, food, groceries increased, everything. So, and the funny part, salary not increased. It's the same. It's the same, to be honest. And yes, for example, from the bits that I make here, right, after the government has taken away half of your salary, after you have paid your rent, and if it's mortgage for people who are already paying mortgage, after you've paid your mortgage, after you've paid your electricity bill, your internet bills, all of the bills that are ahead of you, after you have supported your parents, supported your parents' family, supported your parents' parents. After you've done all of that, right? And after you have, also paid for childcare, because trust me, it doesn't come cheap, right? After you've paid for childcare, whatever is left is what you are going to budget to say. And after you've taken out your groceries, and taken out, things, the money that you use in managing the home, whatever is left is what you cannot begin to say, okay, what am I going to how much can I invest on my future? How much can I save for my child? So it's the same. It's the same. So be it that I am in Europe, or be it that you are in Nigeria, right? Whatever the amount that you think that you are earning right there in Nigeria, it's the same. You just have to sit down and ensure that your budget, whatever you do, your budget includes taking financial responsibility of your future. That's the take. That's my point. Right? And that's the point that I'm still making. So if you are going to say, but I'm not currently earning so much, try to do everything within your power to see that you increase your financial capability in order to ensure that your financial future is secured. Right? So let's assume that you're currently earning like 50K, 100,000 in Nigeria, which we already know is not even enough to feed, it's not even enough for accommodation, it's not even enough for anything. What you want to think about is, because I want my future to be okay, I want my future to be secured, I do not want to burden, my kids. I do not want to burden, my kids. I need to search for another job. What do I need to do to get another job? I need to take some courses. All of those things are on you. How you get to the point where you are able to secure your own financial future, how you get there is on you. So don't think that, it's so easy for the people abroad. It's difficult for the ones in Africa. Absolutely not. Because you see, these excuses that we are making for our parents, if care is not taken and we continue this way, we are also going to our children would also begin to talk about these same excuses. And say, my mom, she did the best she could with the little that she had. For some of these parents, it was lack of information. For some of them, it was lack of financial knowledge. For some of them, it was, the fact that the society has made them believe that whatever you can do now, do it for your child, so that in future you can rely on your child. But that should not be our thinking. Our thinking now should be whatever you can do, sacrifice for your child now, so that your child can stand on his or her 2 feet in the future, compete with his or her mates in the future, right? And also, I do not become a burden to that same child. The same child that I've taken care of, so that he or she can stand on his or her 2 feet and do so well and flourish. I do not want to burden that child as well. Those are the 2 things that I am talking about here. And you should best believe when I tell you that even here, it takes a lot of sacrifice for you to be able to set aside something for your child. It takes a lot of sacrifice for you to be able to set aside something for your future. It just takes a lot of determination and saying this has to be done. Prioritization. I place so much premium, so much priority on the future of my child, on my own future as well. Right? So those 2 things are things that I consider, they are priorities for me. I go to the bank and then, we walk into the bank and we talk about what can we do for our child? How can we also secure our own future after our retirement days? And then they introduce you to so many financial packages and things that you can do. And then you begin to see how can we squeeze this out? Because trust me, no matter where you are seeing it from or where you are listening to me from, it's the same. It's the same. And you also the person also talked about, are we able to make the same sacrifices that our parents made for us? I, as a person, I am making sacrifices for my child. And the best sacrifice that I can make for my child is to ensure that my own future too. It doesn't really make sense that after I have spent so much money sending the child to school, when the child is now supposed to support his or her own family and do so well and be able to compete with their peers all over the world, they are having to worry about me. And that's my take. I really hope that you do get me. What I'm trying to say is, whatever, quote and unquote mistakes that we think our parents made, whatever circumstances that they found themselves in, whatever, if we think, oh, they made so much sacrifice, they gave their all, or the society's pressure, or whatever it is, which are, for me, it's okay, they are all valid. Whether they were from poor backgrounds, maybe they themselves were very poor, and all of those things. There are things that we should avoid. There are things I mean, for me, it says I do not want to find myself in similar situations. So what can I do? What can I do to ensure that I do not find myself in the same situation that our parents found themselves? And that's what it means for us to do better. That's what it means. Whether you're going to have to invest in your future, and when I say that, I mean you're going to take courses, you're going to try to get a better job, you're going to improve your financial situation, whatever it is that you need to do, now is the time, right? Now is the time, to be honest. And that's all I am saying. And that's the perspective from which I'm speaking. I'm saying that let us ensure that we do not, the cycle ends with us. Let us ensure that peer pressure, whatnot, it ends with us. We are the generation, or we are the people who speak up and say, this thing about Ajewomo, I know that there are some people who don't understand Yoruba, my audience, but what it means is I'm going to eat the fruit of my labor. And all it means is when I'm grown, when I'm old, my child is going to take care of me. That saying may not necessarily be accurate for us. It might not necessarily be accurate for us. It would be that we need to ensure that our children, whatever they do for us in the future is born out of love. Whatever they do for us in the future is born out of their own free will. It's not a burden. It's not a mandate. It's not something that, oh, you must do it because, I'm dependent on you completely and totally. No. And that's all I'm saying. And I believe that you do understand me. And I do appreciate your comments. Until next time, guys.